It's a cult. It's a business. What is Scientology?
I see it as a number of different things depending on how you decide or want to look at it. You know, you can make a valid case that the Church of Scientology is a church. We call it the Church of Scientology, right? But at the same time, my personal position is that it is not a validated, credible religion.
So what is it about Scientology that you want to tell us?
It is a scam using religious cloaking to hide what it really is. And that's how I look at Scientology. Religion and churches have very wide, expansive definitions, though. So it's you know, I have to be a little academically honest about the whole thing at the same time. But it's a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. It is it is a destructive cult. Okay, and that is a term that means a specific thing. It's a group that has more destructive outcomes or destructive purposes or intent than it has constructive intent or purposes or outcomes. In other words, if you get involved with Scientology, the chances of you having a negative outcome are incredibly high. I can't say 100%. It's not like every single person who ever gets involved with it has a uniformly negative experience. But as my friend Mark Headley and I have joked, the end result of Scientology is leaving Scientology. I get the hell away from it.
Yes, I know of Mark Headley's story, and I still want to read his book. I can't wait to actually. What do you think the reasons are for leaving?
And the reasons for that are it is a world belief system. It has its own cosmology and mythology and ideas about spiritual enlightenment and all that. That's kind of what it's about is spiritual enlightenment and improving or increasing your spiritual power or ability is the idea of the thing, right? And it's all built on the idea that you are a spirit. You are not your body. This is the basic article of faith in Scientology is that you are a spiritual being. You are not your body. This is something that they believe is scientifically proven, but Scientologists have a very hard time with the concept of what science really is because Hubbard did. And so even scientists who are in Scientology grapple, with this concept because they believe that there's a scientific reason to believe that you're a spiritual being. But when you come down to the fine brass tacks evidence and proof and like show me evidence of it, they come up empty because it's all subjective. It's required that you have a subjective experience, in other words, an experience that exists totally in your mind, that convinces you that you have had an out-of-body experience, have gone what they call exterior to your body.
Yes.
So that's kind of a key part of what it is, sort of religious philosophy that deals with you as a spirit and trying to build up your spiritual potentials and abilities.
Yes. Now, if you look at it that way, for a lot of people, that doesn't sound too bad.
No, exactly.
You know, I mean, being pagan, I believe in reincarnation. I believe that I'm a spiritual, that I'm in a meat, my spirit is in a meat suit, and I'm just living this life, type thing. And that's exactly what, that's what most, not all religions believe in reincarnation, but most of them believe in that we're just passing through this life to get to the afterlife, to get to our next life, to whatever it is that we believe. And so there's nothing wrong with what they believe in terms of that way. It all starts going downhill when you look at what Scientology really is.
Well, exactly, because where the scam part comes in is the practice of Scientology is not about sitting around believing that. The practice of Scientology is doing classes and doing auditing procedure. And auditing is kind of what you might consider counseling, but I have to use that term very loosely. I only use it for purposes of analogy. I mean, Scientology auditing is in no way, shape, or form therapy or counseling as we understand it in psychology or in psychiatry. So it's Hubbard's own invention, and it relies a great deal on mechanisms of hypnosis and suggestion and trance induction and that kind of thing. There's stuff going on in auditing that is very underhanded stuff psychologically.
Yes.
So, but those two things, taking the classes and doing the counseling, doing the auditing, those two things are what make up the practice of Scientology.
Yes.
And neither one of those activities are things that you're going to do for free. You're going to pay, right?
Yes.
And you're going to pay a lot.
Yes.
You're not going to start out paying a lot. You know, it's going to be, you can go in and spend $200, which of course is not chump change. That's not, that's not money you get out of your couch, but $200 in the big scheme of things is not a tremendous amount of money. $50 class or, $200 and we'll give you 5 hours of this auditing. And you go, okay, $40 an hour. Well, that's significantly cheaper than what a psychologist would charge me. So let's do it. Right. And you go in and you do this 5 hours of Dianetics auditing, and you go back and through the Dianetics procedure, you will go back and recall painful incidents in your past and hopefully have some kind of epiphany moment or, oh, wow, hey, I didn't realize, that before about that thing in the past. And that's how they're just trying to hook you in. And then once they hook you, the classes, on the other hand, mostly are presenting fairly common sense principles in a fairly organized and structured way that gives you the idea it's kind of a lot more credible than it really is, but it sounds so good, right? They dress it up really well. And the window dressing of Scientology is admittedly, it can be quite impressive. They have very nice course packs and lectures and all these beautiful buildings and pictures and all this stuff. So it looks quite upscale, but the material itself is really just very common sense stuff. So you can do those classes, or you can do the auditing, or you do a mix of both. And the further you go, once you've done your first nibble, right, then they're hooking you in, and then you do your next and your next and your next. Progressively, it costs more and more and more money, to the point where you can end up paying on the order of $1,000 an hour for that counseling, for that auditing.